Welcome back. I'm going to be starting a new playthrough. I'm going to be playing Conquest of Planet Earth, and that's by Flying Frog Productions. And I've kind of set the board up here. I'm just going to be playing a one-player game versus the AI, and I will be playing the Vento Star Empire. And their abilities, and of course this will make sense as we start playing through the game. Intergalactic network. You may take a draw card step at the start of your turn as well as at the end of your turn. You'll see how that works when we do the playthrough. And energy shield. Use one alien menace token at any time to prevent any one alien from being destroyed. And you start the game with one alien menace token. They look like this. Let's put that on the card. And there's a bunch of conquest tokens. Once you take over locations, there's nothing really on the board at this time. You will put a conquest token on it. Now, when you're playing either a cooperative game or yourself against the AI, you have a resistance phase. And it lays out everything you need to do on the resistance's turn, the human's turn, and the token starts at 0. Okay, let's take a look at some of the different cards in the game and how they will show up as we play. And some of the extra units you can also get either from the expansion. I'm playing with the Apocalypse expansion as well as the base game. All right, let's take a look at some cards and some units. Okay, so to take a look at some of the cards in the game, over on the resistance side, the humans, there are human tech cards, and I won't spoil anything. There are different things like guided missiles and heavy artillery, types of different things. There are event cards that happen on the human's turn, and they have a little red text box on the bottom of them. There's a giant deck of event cards. So there are event cards for the humans that you're playing against, the AI of the game, and event cards for the aliens. There are regular resistance cards, and these come into play when you land on a location. And when you land on a location, you reveal a location card. And they can be things like towns, nuclear power plants. And with the expansion pack, the Apocalypse, they can be coastal areas, and which leads us to the coastal resistance cards. So if a location has a little anchor symbol, it means it's a coastal area, and you'll draw coastal resistance. We also have space stuff, which is the special abilities and special weapons and things for the alien races. And they come in pretty handy. And then we have a bunch of tokens. We have terror tokens. These can be placed on sites that have no defense or are totally demolished with a 0/0. And then we have demolished tokens. Basically no population and no defense. The place has been destroyed. And certain effects in the game and cards and things can destroy locations. And with the Apocalypse expansion, we have destroyers. They have two sides because they need two fights to take them down. We have battleships. Again, they also have two sides, a black side and a red side. And the worst of all, of course, is an aircraft carrier. And it also has two sides. You need to take it down twice. Okay. And just one other thing on the board. I've randomly assigned on where the aliens start one random defense token. And that's going to be paratroopers. And they are here and going up slightly up in the, I'm using the historic monument. We can take a look at that. This is basically the central hub of the human resistance. There's two sides to this card. There's the capital city. You can play, I'm deciding to use historical monument. It has a population of 4. And when you take over one of these places and you put your conquest marker on it, the terror you get is the green number of the population. And the 2 is the defense. That's how many fights you have to beat the area. And there's generally in locations special icons up here that mean different things. So that's the central starting location of the human resistance. And up here we have, there is a set of Marines, and above that is just a general infantry. And we'll see how these work as we play the game and draw cards and go through the cards. So one thing I can just show you quickly here is with the alien turn summary, and the aliens go first. And basically you have an action phase, you ready activated cards, and I'll pull the 3 cards for our alien before the end of the episode here. And you get to do various things. We'll go through them. Then there's the battle phase if there's any fights, and then there's the draw phase. And of course, our special alien ability is we get to draw cards at the beginning of our turn and at the end of the turn. And on the back side is the resistance phase, and it goes through what the human characters need to do, and we'll cover that off as well when we play the game. All right, so the first thing we do and set up, I've got everything set up except the alien intelligence is 3, and that means we're going to draw, whoops, I have 4. We're going to draw 3 cards. I grabbed the top 3 cards off the alien event deck, and these are the 3 cards that we're going to start with. The first is Endless Wave. It says, start of each of your action phases, return all of your destroyed aliens, including allies, to your landing site for free. And that will remain in play. And it costs 3 it costs 3 points to play, and that terror token points, menace tokens. To play that, this one costs 1 menace token to play. That's what is that thing? Choose any player, including yourself. Well, I'm only playing 1 person. To immediately gain D3 alien menace tokens. So you roll the dice and you'll get D3 alien menace tokens. And lastly, we have Terror in the Night. And lots of cool sort of campy artwork on here, which is nice. It says choose a player to immediately gain alien menace tokens equal to their current terror total. Or during a fight to give the resistance +3 to their strength total. That's to be used in a competitive game where you can mess around with other players, but I generally play this game co-op, and I'm just going to run through a 1-player solitaire here. So those are going to be the 3 starting cards we have. Now I'm just going to shift the camera over and we'll take a look at some of the allies that can show up in the game, and then I think next time we'll be starting turn 1. Okay, so without going into too much detail, there are various allies you can get in the game, and you can see these are nice little miniatures here. I forget what they are exactly, but there's little spaceships. These are specific allies that you're going to get through card draws, and of course the coolest one is the Apocalypse Cube, which basically goes around in total devastation, destroying human resistance, and I think locations as well. Anyway, that's the taking a look at some of the specials. And of course, you got your giant robot. It's very, very campy, very B-movie. Very very Flying Frog-like, not Fantasy Flight, although the components are very nice. The boards are a little warped in this game. I had warped boards with the base game. I had warped boards with the Apocalypse expansion. You can bend them a little bit to try to get them straightened out. And again, I use the card sleeve protectors for the Flying Frog production cards. I find they tend to chip a bit off the edges very easily. They seem to be very thick cards. But they do not want to shuffle very nicely, and they end up getting damaged pretty quickly, so I put sleeve protectors on them. Alright, that's going to be the introduction and the setup for Conquest of Planet Earth. So join me next time for turn 1, when we see if the Vento Star Empire can start to crush the human resistance and try to conquer planet Earth. Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and next time we're going to get into turn 1 gameplay.